The mist-shrouded peaks and ancient forests of Japan have long held secrets, none perhaps as captivating as the legend of the samurai. Images of stoic warriors, their katana gleaming, code of honor unyielding, are etched deeply into the global consciousness. These figures embody a martial prowess and a spiritual discipline that has inspired countless tales and continues to resonate in the modern imagination. Yet, the true origins of these iconic figures are far more complex and, in many ways, surprisingly mundane than the romanticized versions often portray. Beneath the veneer of battle and chivalry lies a foundational truth that challenges conventional understanding. The first individuals to bear the title of samurai were not primarily fierce combatants honed in the forge of war. Instead, their initial roles were rooted in the prosaic necessities of administration and the often unseen machinery of governance. They were, in essence, the meticulous record keepers, the diligent overseers, and the diligent collectors of taxes. Japan in the Heian period, spanning from the late 8th to the late 12th century, was characterized by a powerful imperial court centered in Kyoto. While the emperor and his aristocratic courtiers enjoyed lives of refined culture and elaborate rituals, their direct control over the sprawling provinces began to wane. Authority became increasingly decentralized, leading to the rise of vast, privately owned estates known as shon. These estates, often exempt from imperial taxation, gradually eroded the central government's revenue and influence. As the imperial court's reach diminished, the burden of managing and extracting resources from these distant lands fell to local authorities and the landowners themselves. The aristocracy, preferring the comforts of court life, entrusted the day-to-day operations of their estates to reliable agents. These agents were responsible for ensuring the smooth functioning of agricultural production and, crucially, the collection of its fruits. It was within this context that the term saburao, meaning to serve or to attend, emerged to describe those who served the nobility. From this verb, the noun samurai was derived, initially referring to those who served in administrative capacities. Their service was not initially defined by the sword, but by their loyalty, their organizational skills, and their ability to navigate the intricacies of land management. These early samurai were indispensable cogs in the economic engine of Japan. Their duties encompassed surveying land, assessing crop yields, and meticulously calculating the appropriate amount of rice or other goods due to the estate owner. They oversaw irrigation projects, maintained roads, and settled minor disputes among the peasant cultivators, ensuring the continuous flow of resources. The collection of these taxes, often in the form of grain, was a complex logistical undertaking. Samurai agents were tasked with supervising the harvest, storing the collected produce, and arranging for its safe transport to the central granaries or directly to the aristocratic patrons in Kyoto. This required not only careful accounting but also a degree of local authority to ensure compliance. As the shon system expanded, so did the potential for disputes, both internal and external. Boundaries between estates were often contested, and rival landowners might attempt to encroach upon another's territory or resources. Bandits, preying on the valuable collected goods, also posed a constant threat to these administrative operations. It was this growing need for protection that gradually introduced a martial dimension to the samurai's role. To safeguard the accumulated wealth and ensure the peaceful continuation of their administrative duties, these estate managers began to arm themselves and organize small retinues of guards. The sword, initially a secondary tool for defense, slowly became a more prominent symbol of their evolving responsibilities. The transformation was subtle, born out of necessity rather than a predetermined path to military dominance. A samurai might first be an accountant, then a mediator, and only then, if circumstances demanded, a defender of the very ledgers and granaries they managed. Their initial training would have focused on literacy, arithmetic, and the complex legal precedents governing land ownership, not exclusively on martial arts. Over generations, as the central government's power continued to erode, these local administrators and their armed retainers became increasingly powerful and self-reliant. They developed strong regional ties, forming alliances and rivalries that often bypassed the distant imperial court. Their ability to command both resources and a loyal fighting force made them formidable local powers. The turning point arrived dramatically with the Genpei War, 1180 to 1185, a colossal conflict between the Taira and Minamoto clans. This was the first time these regional, armed administrative groups were mobilized on a grand scale, forging them into true armies. The skills they had cultivated in defending estates and enforcing local order were now applied to national warfare, forever altering their identity. Minamoto no Yoritomo, emerging victorious from the Genpei War, established the Kamakura shogunate in 1185, effectively shifting political power from the emperor to the samurai class. This marked the official beginning of samurai rule, an era that would last for nearly 7 centuries. Yet, even as they became the undisputed military elite, their administrative roots remained crucial. The shogunate itself was built upon the principles of local governance and resource management that the samurai had perfected over centuries. They were still responsible for maintaining order, collecting taxes, and administering justice within their domains, albeit now with the added authority of a military government. The sword and the abacus remained intertwined, symbols of their dual nature. This complex origin story offers a profound insight into the nature of power and the fluidity of identity. It reveals how the most iconic symbols of martial prowess can emerge from the most practical and unassuming of beginnings. The samurai's journey from diligent tax collector to legendary warrior is a testament to adaptation, demonstrating how necessity can sculpt destiny in unexpected ways. Their enduring legacy, therefore, is not merely one of battle and honor, but also of service and order, of the fundamental human endeavor to organize society and manage its resources. It reminds us that behind every grand narrative, there often lies a more intricate tapestry woven from the threads of everyday duties, revealing that even the most formidable of figures can find their genesis in the quiet, indispensable tasks that underpin civilization. It is a powerful illustration of how the pursuit of stability and the pragmatic needs of an evolving society can transform humble servants into the architects of an era, leaving an indelible mark on the course of history.